Have you ever wondered why your iPhone isn't made in USA? It's not just about labor costs. If Apple were to fully move production to America tomorrow, the price of your iPhone could increase significantly, and it's due to a complex web of reasons far beyond just wages. In this video, I'll reveal why Apple's supply chain is so deeply entrenched in China and what it would really take to change it. Hey everyone, today we're exploring 3 key challenges in Apple's global manufacturing. 1. The surprising impact of a single component on local production efforts. Why tariffs haven't successfully reshaped Apple's supply chain. Apple's ongoing strategies to diversify production beyond China. Let's dive in. Picture this. It's 3 a.m. in Austin, Texas. Apple engineers are trying to source a specialized screw like the pentalobe screw for the Mac Pro computer. They need thousands of them quickly. The challenge? In the US, finding a supplier who can rapidly produce and deliver highly customized components in such high volumes, especially on short notice, can be extremely difficult. But in China, manufacturers like Foxconn often have an unparalleled network of specialized suppliers who can deliver parts almost overnight. This incident, while specific, highlighted a broader reality: the incredible speed, scale, and density of China's manufacturing ecosystem. It's not just about one screw, it's about the ability to source hundreds of specialized parts, often with tight deadlines, that makes the difference in large-scale production. Consider the scale of operations. To build iPhones, Apple's manufacturing partners require tens of thousands of specialized engineers to oversee hundreds of thousands of factory workers. While the US has highly skilled engineers, China's vocational and engineering programs produce a vast number of graduates specifically trained in manufacturing and electronics assembly each year, creating a deep pool of relevant talent. Apple's CEO Tim Cook has emphasized that China's integrated supply chain is mission critical. In regions like Shenzhen, thousands of suppliers and manufacturers are geographically concentrated, often within a 30-mile radius. This proximity allows for unparalleled speed in problem-solving, material sourcing, and collaborative innovation. This tightly integrated ecosystem means that even minor disruptions to a single part can have a cascading effect, potentially delaying the production of hundreds of thousands of iPhones within a short time frame. You might think, just pay American workers more money. Let's look at the financial aspect, which is more complex than just wages. While precise figures vary by role and region, reports from May 2025 indicate that the average monthly factory wage in China is around $750 compared to approximately $240 in India. This means average factory wages in China can be significantly lower than in the US and even lower in India. Apple produces hundreds of millions of iPhones annually. If Apple were to fully replicate its current labor-intensive manufacturing processes in the US, solely focusing on the direct wage differential, the labor cost component per iPhone would certainly increase. Estimates vary, but if all direct manufacturing labor currently performed at lower wages globally were suddenly paid at US rates, it could add a substantial amount to the production cost of each iPhone. This increase would undoubtedly impact the final retail price, making an iPhone notably more expensive, potentially in the range of several $100s more, before other costs and profit margins are added. This economic reality is why governments have sometimes tried other incentives, like tariffs, to encourage domestic production. But did those work? In recent years, governments have implemented policies like tariffs on goods made in China, with the aim of incentivizing companies like Apple to shift production to the US. For instance, proposed tariffs have been discussed to add a significant percentage, potentially 25% or more, to the cost of certain components or finished goods imported from China. Apple's strategy in response has often been to diversify its supply chain. Instead of solely returning production to the US, they've expanded manufacturing to other countries like India and Vietnam, in part to mitigate tariff impacts and geopolitical risks. This means that while the intent of tariffs might be to create domestic jobs, the outcome can sometimes be a geographical shift in production to other low-cost countries and potentially higher costs for consumers, without the intended job creation in the home country. Quick question for you: would a Made in USA label on your iPhone be worth a potentially higher price to you? Let me know in the comments. Here's what Apple is actually doing to diversify its supply chain. Recent reports from May 2025 indicate a significant increase in iPhone shipments from India to America, with India's overall Apple product output reaching approximately $22 billion in the fiscal year ending March 2025, a 60% increase year over year. A Wall Street analyst predicts that by fall 2025, up to 65% of iPhones could be manufactured in India. However, it's crucial to understand the scale. Reports from June 2025 still indicate that a vast majority, around 80% or more, of Apple suppliers remain based in China. This highlights that while diversification is happening, it's a gradual process, akin to expanding to new rooms in a large complex rather than entirely abandoning the original structure. The concern is real. Geopolitical tensions, particularly between China and Taiwan, pose significant risks to the global supply chain. A major disruption could indeed halt the movement of critical components, leading to substantial delays in iPhone production and availability. Remember the highly publicized Foxconn project in Wisconsin? Initially touted as a $10 billion wonder factory, the actual investment and scope were significantly reduced, with reports from April 2021 indicating spending closer to $672 million. This outcome has been widely cited by media, including NPR, as a cautionary tale regarding the complexities of large-scale manufacturing investments and job creation in the US. While Apple has announced some increased manufacturing presence in the US, such as a new facility in Houston, these operations are typically focused on specific components or final assembly for certain products, and are not on the scale of their vast manufacturing complexes in China. The sheer size and capacity of Chinese facilities are currently unparalleled in other regions. A fundamental component of your iPhone is the advanced semiconductor chip, primarily manufactured by companies like TSMC in Taiwan. While TSMC is indeed building a significant fabrication plant in Arizona, its completion and full operational capacity have faced delays. Reports from January 2024 indicated delays pushing the first plant's production to the first half of 2025, and the second plant's production to 2027 or 2028. A key challenge is the specialized workforce required for such advanced chip manufacturing. A significant number of experienced personnel from Taiwan have been brought in to support the project. Until such domestic chip production is fully scaled, Apple remains reliant on importing these crucial components largely from Asia, a region with inherent geopolitical risks, particularly concerning China and Taiwan. Even with future US-made chips, the vast majority of subsequent assembly and component integration still occurs in established Asian supply chains. To truly establish a comprehensive iPhone manufacturing ecosystem in America, it would require relocating or developing a vast network of hundreds of specialized suppliers, a sustained pipeline of tens of thousands of highly skilled engineers and technicians annually, massive investments in advanced, super precise manufacturing equipment and infrastructure. While Apple has pledged significant investments in the US, including a reported $500 billion over 4 years focusing on AI, silicon engineering, and research and development, these are distinct from direct iPhone manufacturing scale. The likely path towards more made-in-USA iPhones involves significant advancements in automation and robotics, allowing for high-volume precision manufacturing with a smaller, highly skilled human workforce focused on specialized tasks, quality control, and advanced operations. This shift could potentially mitigate some of the traditional labor cost differences, making domestic production more economically viable in the long term. Future generations of iPhones could see increasing domestic production, driven by technological advancements and strategic investments in automation and a highly trained workforce. To recap, the complexities of global supply chains, exemplified by the screw story, underscore the challenges of domestic production. Government tariffs have led to supply chain diversification rather than a complete shift to the US, and critical component dependencies, like advanced chips, continue to tie production to Asia. Ultimately, achieving widespread made-in-USA iPhones requires not just political will, but a significant, sustained investment in an integrated domestic supply chain, a specialized workforce, and advanced automation. It's a long-term endeavor, but one that continues to evolve with technology.